I pulled the backing of every single top offer in the space right now that's actually printing money, and every single one had the two same exact channels live underneath it and running the same exact way. People in this space say it's one or the other, meaning organic if you want a real audience, or to run paid if you want to be able to scale fast. But what actually happens is offer owners end up locking into one of them from the start and they never expand into the other lane. And that's exactly what stunts growth, causes plateaus, stalls offers out for months, and then they end up tweaking the wrong things when it's something else entirely. This is the exact system people pay multiple 4 figures for, laid out with every single card on the table. In today's video, I'm going to show you the entire sequencing, the mistakes people make, and real offers running this right now, so that you can go ahead and run this for yourself without having to guess on any of this. But before we even get into this, I want to make the disclaimer that this is a YouTube video and it's not a guarantee on whether or not you're even going to be able to make money from this, because you may not even know how to correctly implement this. But other than that, this is the full system laid out for you as clean as it can be. So let's just get straight into it. The first thing we have to do is address the misbelief that the majority of the people in this space have, being that everybody wants to rely on one lane. The people who like to run fully organic have a fear that paid is a fake audience, trust breaks when you run ads, and your ad spend will end up disappearing with no return on it. And for the people who swear by paid, they have a fear that organic barely converts, it's algorithm dependent, it's too slow, and there's no direct lever that you can pull to make your system work. But at the center of both of those fears are the exact same failure coming from two different directions, being an imbalanced setup that has holes in it. And the thing is, someone running only one, being organic or paid, is always going to lose to someone in that niche that's running both types of traffic. Now, if running both is what actually separates the offer scaling from the ones that are stuck in one place, the next question is obvious, being what is each one actually supposed to be doing? Because even when most people try running both, they still get it wrong, because they use organic and paid like they're interchangeable instead of understanding what each one is actually built for. Now, this brings us to understanding organic versus paid, because to be able to set this system up, you have to understand the difference between paid and organic to be able to use them correctly. For organic traffic, this lever is semi-controllable. It's built completely for reach and nurture, and it's only semi-controllable because when the content is built to speak to the right ICP, your content can target exactly who you want it to. Now, it helps build deeper conviction than code ever can, since it's earned attention instead of just bought attention, but the limit of it is that it has a slow ramp up, and unlike paid, there's no guarantee that you'll actually get a return on putting in the time to create organic content. Now, when it comes to paid traffic, this is a completely different story. You have full control over it other than the compliance rules that you have to do when running ads, and this is built for acquisition and direct targeting to your ICP. The thing about paid is that it's fast and it's guaranteed in a way that organic isn't when it's set up correctly. But the only limit is that without organic, it builds nothing that compounds, so it stops the second you turn off your ads. Now, most people, when they try to pull both of these levers, they'll run them as if they're two completely different systems. And on the outside looking in, they are two completely different systems, but the truth is that they're actually directly connected to each other. Paid traffic helps cover organic's holes, being speed and certainty, and organic traffic helps cover paid traffic's holes, being deeper conviction from an audience that already trusts targeting because it was earned and not paid for. So they're not incomplete because of the wrong channel, but they're incomplete because they're not meant to carry an entire system alone. So now that you understand how both parts of the ecosystem work, here's exactly how we get the system set up. And the whole governing rule of this part of the stack is what's the fastest way to have your offer proven and scale so that you can make money as fast as possible and fine tune it correctly. At this point, what you want to do is build a system as lean as possible, get the correct signal that your offer is working, and then scale it accordingly. Now, if you're debating pushing organic and paid traffic together, there's 4 different categories you could be sitting in. The first one is going to be having an audience but not having an offer yet. So the best way for you to set this up is going to be to test if that audience will buy at a $3,000 price point. And it's going to be the leanest version of your offer, but what this is going to do is allow you to get data as fast as possible. When setting this up, there's 2 different signals you can get. Signal number 1 is going to be that your audience isn't interested, and what this signals is that you have the wrong demographic. This is going to trace back completely to the messaging in your content, and what you're going to have to do from here is actually fix your audience. And the second fix, being the easier fix, is going to be for you to fix your offer. You'll know you have to fix your offer if your audience has hesitation at the price, have objections on the actual mechanism, or they just don't trust that it'll work at all. These are all symptoms of your offer not being convincing enough yet. What you want to do from here is fix the signal as fast as possible and try to retest your offer. Now, like I said, at this point, you're mainly looking to collect as much data as possible when it comes to your audience, so that number 1, you can understand what your ICP needs. Number 2, you can get proof that what you're teaching actually works. And number 3, you can refine your offer as soon as possible to scale as fast as possible. Now, the second position that you can be in is that you have an offer, but you have a small audience. At this point, you're probably in a position where you've done this model before and you've seen success for yourself, but you just haven't built the social media presence. So what you want to do is run paid traffic so that you can get a read as fast as possible on whether or not your offer is even going to work. And the fastest read that you can get is running a call funnel. At this point, you want to skip any setup that's going to take days or even weeks to build and receive data, because you want the fastest path to knowing if the offer can actually perform at scale. And at this point, you may already even have a small cohort of people, or even just a handful of social proof from your mentees. But if you don't, you want to use your own social proof and use it to your advantage as much as you can. This is a point where I say that you don't want to rely solely on the slow buildup of organic, because you want to scale and you want to do it fast. And now for the third position that you could potentially be in, it's going to be that you have an organic audience and your offer is already working, but you just haven't started running paid ads yet. And at this point, if your offer is already working and you already have an organic audience, this is the perfect place for you to be in so that you can actually start running your offer to cold traffic. And here you're in a place where your setup can actually carry more production value since the offer isn't in question, since you know it's already working. But you must know that just because it works on organic doesn't mean it's going to work on paid. Stuff like angles may need to be reworked, your ad copy may need to get tuned, and your offer may even need to be tuned before you're even able to be profitable on your ad spend. And this is a decent place to be in, but it's a test on whether or not your offer can actually handle true scale. Because if this is your first time running to cold traffic, you're going to be dealing with stuff like leads that aren't completely bought in, fulfillment caps, and it's just going to be a complete test on your back end. Now for the fourth and final place that you could be in when trying to run the setup, is that you're already running paid and it's working well, but you have little to no organic presence. And the perfect thing about this is that this is a sign that your offer is going to also rip on organic. So all you have to do from here is take the proven angles that are working in your ads and rebuild it completely for organic content. You just want to reposition it to compound trust on top of what's already validated through your cold traffic. And the reason for this is that you don't want to be locked to strictly paid traffic. And when you're at this point, organic is needed to boost your sales process. And I wouldn't even say that it's optional. What organic traffic is going to allow you to do is build more trust, a stronger brand, and protection if ads ever stop. And just so you know that this is actually real and it's not just a theory that I came up with, we can see the stack in full effect on some of the biggest info offers in space. And this is the basis that every single person that's doing real numbers right now is running. They post to organic with ICP specific messaging. They run ads with deeper ICP messaging and direct paying callouts. Number 3, they use that warm traffic to run retargeted ads straight into their conversion event. Whether it's a webinar or a call funnel, it doesn't matter. What actually matters is the same 3-step pattern that runs under every single high performing info setup. Now just for y'all to actually see this up close, we can see that it's organic socials, paid ads, and the deepest neutral layer, which is going to be YouTube, running all together. We can see this with Brett Scales, Joby Sepp, and we can see the same exact system being run with Iman Ghazi. There's a couple common mistakes that people run into when they're trying to run this setup. So it's best for you to know these mistakes now so you don't end up trying to run this setup and ruining it and think that it doesn't actually work. The first mistake being tweaking the wrong things. So people will tweak stuff like email sequences, button colors, changing stuff based off of feelings and not off of track data because that's what feels controllable to them. What actually decides the outcome is the stack underneath it. So if you redirect that energy into stuff like the organic and paid sequencing and actually connect where stuff in your setup is breaking, then you'll be able to see results from it. Now the second common mistake that people make is going to be switching funnels entirely before proving your offer even works. And whether you're running on organic or just paid traffic, they run into the same exact pattern every single time. Stuff like this usually gets triggered by a symptom of something in their setup not running correctly. So stuff like people seeing results coming in slow, they assume that the vehicle itself is actually wrong. So imagine completely changing your funnel at this point. This turns into 2 unknown levers instead of just one, and now you cause a tune-up period to number 1 slow down, and on top of that, proving the offer is going to take even longer than it would have initially. Now mistake number 3, and this is something I already brought up, but it's running organic and paid as disconnected efforts instead of a shared system that feed into each other. I've seen people post to organic pushing one direction and paid ads pushing a completely separate direction, but neither of them are actually calculated to run as a system. The fix for this is to be extremely intentional with the handoff from paid to organic or organic to paid. And this brings me to my last mistake, which is going to be people having no real retargeting strategy or just retargeting the entirely wrong audience. And retargeting ads have 2 specific jobs. They target people who opt into your conversion event and people who interact with your ads. What you want to do is continue to retarget them into the conversion event or retarget them straight into your organic YouTube content so that they can nurture themselves even deeper. You want to be able to build both of these audiences deliberately. And your main takeaway from this video should be that your funnel doesn't matter. It's actually the stack that's underneath it. So stuff like paid ads handling reach and speed, retargeting ads closing that loop, and organic helping build conviction in you. And this exact stack is the same exact reason why some of the biggest scams in the space are always run by the biggest creators. It's not because they have a perfect funnel, but because they understand marketing well enough to sell their persona regardless of what's behind it. And that's the entire mechanism behind organic marketing. The best marketers in the space understand that you don't want to come off as trying to sell anything. The sell happens when someone gets invested enough into somebody that they end up wanting to become the person that's actually selling it. Now when it comes to paid, it can put the offer in front of someone, but it can't make someone want to become the person selling it. Only the stack run correctly can do that for you. Almost every single creator running strictly paid ads ends up having to shrink their target market to people who are already in market just to be able to actually sell their offer. This is because paid ads alone can't build that familiarity from scratch. Now, even when it comes to organic only, it has its same exact version of this problem, and it's that it can take someone from being a cold stranger to being fully convicted on its own, but only at the pace of whoever the algorithm shows it to. So it gets bottlenecked by stuff like reach instead of targeting. But if you're able to run both of those together, then both of the limitations get killed. Your paid ads won't have to shrink just to reach a target market, because organic is what's going to help you build that conviction, and your organic content stops being bottlenecked by reach, because your paid traffic is what's going to help put your content in front of the correct people that organic would have taken months to get to or would have never even got to them in the first place. But I hope you understand the system as well as I do, and why every single offer that's doing real numbers is running through exactly what we walked through today. And shameless plug, but if you're serious about being able to run this correctly instead of guessing on it and taking months to be able to actually get this running correctly, you can book a call with me with the link in the description below, and we can see if we can get this set up for you. And if you're still running a small offer and trying to figure out exactly where you can go from here, you can go watch the video somewhere on the screen where I break down exactly how we ran this system on organic alone with no ads and a small audience, and how far that alone can actually take you.